Book summary: The Griffin Sisters' Greatest Hits by Jennifer Weiner. Introduction: Story that sings. Jennifer Weiner's The Griffin Sisters' Greatest Hits is not just another tale of fame and fallout. It's heartfelt exploration of sisterhood, ambition, memory, and what it means to truly come home. Set against the shimmering backdrop of early 2000s pop culture, the novel offers both love letter to bygone music era and poignant portrayal of three generations of women navigating identity, sacrifice, and healing. Masterfully captures the complexities of familial love, messy, enduring, and ultimately redemptive. Part 1: The Rise of Pop Powerhouse. Cassie and Zoe Grossberg were never supposed to be pop stars. Daughters of dentist and former lounge singer in suburban Philadelphia, their childhood was typical until it wasn't. Cassie, introspective and musically gifted, could play by ear before she could read sheet music. Zoe, on the other hand, sparkled with charisma and stage presence. When local producers saw potential in their duet performance at school talent show Griffin Sisters, stage name they took from their mother's maiden name, were born. At first, it was supposed to be for fun. Few demo tapes, small gigs, the dream of maybe one day breaking through. But the early 2000s were golden age for bubblegum pop, and the timing was right. With blended catchy hooks, coordinated outfits, and sibling chemistry, Cassie and Zoe found themselves swept into whirlwind. Their debut single soared up the TRL charts. They were booked on MTV, opened for major headliners, and eventually headlined their own tour. But even at the height of their fame, fault lines were already forming. Cassie, always more private and introverted, hated the limelight. Her musicality was eclipsed by Zoe's extroverted energy and media-savvy charm. Zoe loved performing, the glamour, the attention. It felt like destiny. Cassie, by contrast, felt more like prisoner of success, overwhelmed by constant gaze of fans, managers, and expectations. Weiner captures this contrast not just in character arcs, but in tone. Zoe's chapters pulse with pop-colored energy, while Cassie's narrative voice hums with quiet longing and weariness. Both are credible, both are real, and the reader comes to understand how easily love can become resentment when fame is the third sister in the room. Part 2: The Fall. And the silence that followed. What causes massively successful pop act to implode overnight? In the case of the Griffin Sisters, the reasons are layered. Creative differences, media pressure, jealousy, personal betrayals, and one cataclysmic moment that remains shrouded in mystery for most of the book. When the sisters split, the fallout is devastating. Their fans are stunned. The media speculates. But neither sister speaks publicly about the breakup. Fast forward 20 years. Zoe Grossberg Stone is now stay-at-home mom in suburban New Jersey. Her daughter Cherry is 15 and just starting to discover her own identity and her own voice. Cherry is fascinated by music, obsessed with it, nostalgia, and has just stumbled upon old videos of her mom and aunt performing together. She's shocked to realize that her seemingly ordinary mother was once superstar. Cassie, meanwhile, has vanished from the public eye. No social media, no appearances, no updates. Rumors swirl. Rehab, religious cults, marriages. But the truth is more complicated. She lives quiet, almost monastic life on the West Coast, teaching piano under an assumed name and trying to forget the life she left behind. For Cassie, silence isn't just break. It's shield. Cherry, frustrated by her mom's evasiveness and fueled by teenage curiosity, decides to dig deeper. Through a mix of online sleuthing, old fan blogs, and long-forgotten interviews, she begins to piece together sister's journey. What she discovers not only surprises her, it changes the course of all their lives. Part 3: Daughter's Mission and the Road to Reconnection. Cherry's quest to reunite her mother and aunt is at the heart of the novel's second act. It is here that Weiner deepens the emotional stakes. Cherry isn't just chasing gossip or viral moment. She's searching for identity. She wants to understand where she came from, why her mom is so afraid of fame, and whether talent and ambition are gifts or burdens. Through Cherry, the reader re-examines decisions Cassie and Zoe made, seeing them through fresh, unjaded eyes. This Cherry ventures further, secrets begin to surface about the sisters' childhood, the choices they made during their fame, and the pivotal event that shattered their bond. These revelations are handled with deft pacing, avoiding melodrama and instead leaning into emotional truth. Each chapter peels back another layer, revealing how love can curdle into envy and how forgiveness is often harder to give than to ask for. Zoe, confronted with her daughter's mission and the pain she's tried to bury, begins to reckon with her past. She has spent years pretending the Griffin sisters were just phase, an illusion she's happy to leave behind. But Cherry's questions force her to re-examine her own role in the split and whether she, too, deserves second chance. Cassie, reluctant at first, is drawn out of isolation by Cherry's persistence. Slowly, tentatively, the sisters begin to reconnect. first through letters, then calls, and finally reunion that is as fragile as it is necessary. Themes: sisterhood, sacrifice, and the soundtrack appealing. At its core, the Griffin Sisters' greatest hits is about relationships. The ones that define us, wound us, and ultimately save us. Weiner explores the intricacies of sisterhood, how it can be both sanctuary and battleground. Cassie and Zoe love each other deeply, but their love is complicated by comparison, competition, and the roles they were forced into at a young age. The novel also tackles with nuance. Unlike many celebrity novels that glamorize stardom, Weiner presents balanced view. The spotlight brings opportunities, yes, but also distortion. Under constant scrutiny, the sisters lose their ability to communicate with each other, instead performing versions of themselves until the truth becomes unrecognizable. Motherhood is another powerful thread. Zoe's protectiveness, Cassie's loss, and Cherry's yearning form a generational triangle of longing and healing. The reader watches how patterns repeat and how they can be broken. Nostalgia plays a big role too. For readers who grew up in the 2000s, references: MTV's Total Request Live, platform sandals, bedazzled jeans, and the bubblegum pop sound will hit like familiar notes in an old song. Yet the nostalgia is never empty. It's used to contrast how much has changed and how much still resonates. Writing style, warmth, humor, and emotional intelligence. Jennifer Weiner is known for her accessible yet deeply emotional storytelling, and this novel is no exception. Her prose is clear but rich, laced with wit and moments of lyrical beauty. She captures teenage angst, middle-aged exhaustion, and long-suppressed pain with equal skill. Dialogue is one of the novel's strengths. The conversations between Zoe and Cherry in particular are filled with a generational tension and affection. The banter between the sisters, once they begin speaking again, brims with a complex shorthand of shared history. Barb's jokes, silences that say more than words. Weiner doesn't shy away from hard topics: mental health, body image, addiction, family dysfunction. But she handles them with compassion. The book is never grim, even when it touches dark places. There's always a note of hope, sense that healing is possible, even if it takes 20 years. Final act, an encore worth waiting for. The climax of the novel brings the sisters full circle without spoiling key plot points. It's safe to say that the resolution is both satisfying and emotionally resonant. There's no fairy tale ending here, no overnight absolution. But there's honesty, courage, and commitment to rebuild. Weiner doesn't force closure. Instead, she offers what feels truer: messy, beautiful attempt to reconnect. Music becomes metaphor, not just for fame or success, but for communication. Songs can bridge what words can't, and sometimes shared harmony can say what years of silence never could. Conclusion: book that hits all the right notes. The Griffin Sisters' greatest hits is moving, melodic, and mature novel from writer at the height of her powers. Jennifer Weiner gives readers a story that is simultaneously nostalgic and fresh, humorous and heartbreaking, personal and universal. Whether drawn to stories of fame, family, forgiveness, or simply love, well-told, character-driven narrative, this book delivers. It's about the music we make with the people who know us best, and how sometimes the greatest hits are the ones we make when we come back together.